Hey, all right, y'all. So I just wanted to make sure everything was working properly before I officially get started. So I am back with another live resume critique for you all, and I'm really enjoying doing these series, by the way. I want people to really be able to take away from these critiques that I do, like what are some of the common mistakes, resume mistakes that people make. Hey, how are you? Hi, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Missing my vacation, but as you guys know, like I just came back from Jamaica, so I'm having withdrawals like crazy. I want to go back already so bad. And okay, so I guess we'll go ahead and get started. I hate to make my lives too long, so let's see. Go ahead and pull up. Let's see. Let's see. Close out of these other windows. Give me 1 second, you guys. For some reason, it's giving me an error message. Trying to close out some other screens. Okay, let's see if we got it now. Yep, got it. Okay. Okay, perfect. So here is Kirstin's resume. So you guys know that I always change the name and like all of the information within this resume to make sure that my client's information and their identity, well, now you guys know it's a her, but their identity remains confidential. I don't want to expose anybody or anything like that. So some of the information or a lot of the information in here has been changed so that you all don't know who Kirstin really is. But nevertheless, this is her real resume that she sent over to me prior to us renovating her resume and revising it and revamping it. This is what it looks like before. And just a quick overview for Kirstin. So Kirstin is in the medical coding and billing space. She's been in the space for over 10 years. She has like over 15 years of experience, and she's been working her way up in the field for quite some time. But she is at a place in her career where she's looking to ascend, like she's trying to ascend as far as salary is concerned. So her pay has majority like stayed the same for most of her career. And she said that that's been good. Like she's been able to obtain and maintain the same salary, but she's at a place now where she just feels like with all of her years of experience that she should be making more money. She has a lot of management responsibilities at this point. So she feels like she's doing a lot of management work, but she's not getting management money. And if you guys are in tune with my videos, and you know for the past month or the past month and a half or so, I've really been sharing video content surrounding different ways that jobs underpay you and how they can get away with it, and reasons or instances where you feel like you should ask for more money, so that you can potentially avoid the situation that Kirstin is in. So that's just a quick overview of what she's looking for. So in a nutshell, Kirstin is looking to make more money, okay? And I can't blame her because Kirstin has 15 plus years of experience in this field. She's worked at a lot of reputable related institutions across her industry, especially in the Chicagoland area. So that when I spoke with her, I was like, there's no reason why you shouldn't be making the amount of money that you make. She had been job searching for, I believe, 2 to 3 months, and she said that she was just hearing crickets. She wasn't getting any interviews at all. She's cranked out over 30 to 50 applications on Indeed, and she's emailed some people directly, but she hasn't heard anything. And what she does hear back is simply rejection from recruiters. So one of my favorite clients who I've worked with for years, on his resume, referred her my way and wanted to help her out. He actually paid for the services for her because they're really good friends, and he and I are really good friends. So this is how Kirstin ended up in my pipeline. So let's go ahead and review everything that was wrong with Kirstin's previous resume before I did my magic and flipped it, what's the saying go? Flipped it down, reverse it. I don't know. I'm thinking of that Missy Elliott song, Work It, but I can't come up with it. So let's go ahead and get started. Y'all know I can be a little chatty. So first things first, Kirstin has no contact information. So Kirstin actually sent her resume to me just like this. And if my friend had not sent me her contact information to reach out to her directly, I wouldn't have had her phone number, her email, nothing. And when she emailed it to me, that's the only way that I knew her contact information. This is, I recorded a video on this talking about the worst ways to start your resume. And I believe not having any contact information on there is one of those big mistakes that you don't want to have. So if Kirstin, and I'm pretty sure she was, unfortunately, if Kirstin was sending her resume out to recruiters, they would virtually, for the most part, have no way of contacting her. So with, of course, her sending the email, they're going to have her email address by default, but they're not going to have her phone number. So you absolutely want to make sure you have your contact information there, you guys. Like, if a job wants to contact you, you should want them to be able to, and it should be easy as possible for them to be able to reach out to you for these positions. So please have your contact information. Like, it should be either like right next to your name, or it should be right under your name, but it should definitely be following your name in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Next on the list with Kirstin's resume is she has no targeted headline. Now, you guys know I talk about this all the time when it comes to targeted headlines. You really want to let the recruiter know or give them an idea or a glimpse of what your specialty is, what your background is, and what type of content are they getting ready to read that may make you appear as qualified as possible, right? So I would have to read through Kirstin's resume to understand that she's applying for a billing and coding position. And I would have to read through all of this information to know that she has a lot of experience in medical coding and billing, as opposed to her having a targeted headline right above the professional experience. So like right here, that would say, experienced medical coding and billing manager or supervisor, or, accounts receivable expert. Thinks, something along those lines that actually serves as a lead in into the document. So another mistake is that her resume begins immediately with her professional experience. Again, if you guys watch my videos, you know that I always talk about having a targeted, in addition to the targeted headline, you also want to have a professional summary or a career overview right here. And it should be between 3 to 5 bullet points that kind of outlines or highlight some key items in your career that you have accomplished, or highlighting particular skills that are really related to the position that you're applying to. And with that professional summary, you really want to make sure you are focusing on whatever those top keywords are that a recruiter may be looking for. And this is also why it's important to make sure that you're doing keyword research prior to putting your resume together, so that you know that it has the type of content that a recruiter is looking for. So if a recruiter wants a medical coding and billing supervisor who has 7+ years of experience, Kirstin has that, but unfortunately the recruiter would have to read through both pages, because she has a lot of experience on here, to see that, yeah, she has a lot of experience. And I hate to say that, you guys, but recruiters don't want to read through all of that. A career summary just is like a nice little way to button up the most important things, which would be like how many years of experience you have, how extensive your background is, what are some top key things that you are known for in terms of skills or accomplishments or specialties. Like if you're known for turning around departments, if you have minimized spending for 2 companies by 30%, things like that. So we should have had some sort of a career summary, career overview up here. Next is that her skills are not here as well. And I just recorded a video teaching you all how to properly list your skills on your resume. Her skills are all the way down here. And even still, these are just technical skills. you want to have a mixture of tech skills, hard skills, and then soft skills / transferable skills. And I am going to be recording a video this weekend, actually, for one of my December videos, talking about the difference between hard skills and soft skills so that you all know for future reference. But anyway, her skills should not be all the way down here, y'all. They should be up here right after her professional summary, her career summary, right before her professional experience actually begins. Um, the next thing that's wrong with her resume is that her education, which is actually really important to her job. So for medical coding and billing, you have to have a certification, and you have to have some sort of health information technology background. This is actually really important for her role. It's way too far down in the document. It's on the second page. Nonetheless, at the bottom of the second page, it should be on the first page, technically right before her professional experience, to be honest. So when I redid her resume, we did name, contact information, targeted headline, professional summary, skills section, and education, because those are all kind of like the top things that I found when I did some keyword research before I started writing her resume that recruiters and hiring managers were looking for when it came to a medical coding and billing or an accounts receivable like department supervisor. They wanted somebody who had this certification. They wanted someone who at least had an associate's degree. She has both. They should not be buried all the way down here. She was shooting herself in the foot. So we went ahead and put that higher. Next, I would say what was wrong with her resume is that her jobs, I mean, the way she has her job title and the city and state laid out is fine. um there's a better way to format this. Like, it looks like she just did a couple of spaces or a bunch of spaces and had her stuff all the way over there. You guys don't have to do that. Like, you can just put it, like right here. So that would be one thing that I would note, just because it's like it's a little odd. Like, they're all kind of oddly spaced. Like, this one's all the way over here, this one's here, this one's here, this one's here. Like, it's just a little odd. Not a terrible thing, but like in the spirit of consistency, right? You would want to just format it like this. And since I'm on the subject, I noticed that there is no consistency with the different ways that she lists her job title. So there's a space here, but there's not a space here. It's on 2 lines here, and it's still on 2 lines here, but it's formatted weird. Like, I don't know. Yeah, this is off. So when you're listing your jobs, you guys be consistent. Like, there's a comma with this one, or no, there's a comma with this one, but there's a dash with this one. There's a dash with this one, but there's no space. Like, it's just consistency. It may seem nitpicky, but I promise you guys, like, it's the little things that could potentially trip you up. So when you are listing out your job titles and the city and state and everything, just keep it on one line. And whatever you decide to use, whether it's a comma, whether it's a dash, whether it's a vertical line like this one, just be consistent with it with all of the positions that you have listed on your resume. Her bullet points are very task oriented. So you all know that I preach the importance of communicating your value, making sure that you infuse numbers, focusing on your accomplishments, focusing on what you've done for the company, focusing on your impact, focus on like what you have delivered for the company in terms of your role and how it has had a positive impact on the company. So these, and I found out later too that she just kind of copy and pasted the job description that she had from her job and just like plopped it in her resume. Something that you all don't want to do. That actually may be a video idea. So don't do that, you guys. Don't just copy and paste your job description. That can have pretty much anything and everything in there, and you really want to focus on what matters the most, which is results and value. So we scrapped all of these bullet points and they've all been rewritten. We found out after having our consultation call that she had like saved the department like 30%, like 30%. She cut spending by 30%, and she has processed like almost $1 billion in claims, and she helped institute like a whole new operating system. She did a lot here. So I was like, girl, why are we focusing on these little bitty bullet points with but like nothing in them? let's go ahead and focus on like what I like to call the meat and potatoes. So with your job descriptions or with your job bullet points, just make sure that they have value, that they have a meaning to them. And then also make sure that your job bullets, as far as the length of them, are consistent. So this one's one line, this one's two lines, this one's two, this one's one, this one's one, this one's two, this one's a longer one. Ideally, your job bullet points should not exceed 2 sentences, and they should not exceed 2 lines, although ideally you want to keep everything on one line if possible. So that means being very strategic and specific with the words that you are using to describe your responsibilities and the things that you've done. Also, redundancy, I see responsible for one, two, I thought I saw it one more time. Yeah, but stay away from responsible for. I feel like there are, I mean, I know that they are because I'm a resume writer. There's so many different other ways to convey what you do, so many other more powerful, impactful terms that you can use as opposed to responsible for. So we amped up or boosted up her wording quite a bit and used more management level, supervisory level type of terms that would be used for somebody who is a manager, because that's what she's going for. So in her resume, there's a lot of coordinator or entry level type language is what I like to say. Since she's going for a position that's higher up and she also has the experience and the background to match that, we had to switch up the words that she was using to convey her experience and that, like, yeah, she's a manager. Same thing here. So she was at this job for, looks like less than a year. Way too many bullet points. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Whoop, 11 bullet points. You should ideally have no more than 7. If you have been in a position for longer than maybe 7 to 10 years and you've worked on a lot of things, that is the only time where it's acceptable to have more than the standard number of job bullet points. If you have been there for less than a year, looks like she was maybe there for 8 months or so, this is not necessary. I mean, all of the sentences are one line ideally, as they're supposed to be, but like, it's way too many bullet points. And again, there was no value here. So I focused on kind of pulling out the main things that she accomplished in this position from a managerial standpoint and ran with that instead. But yeah, you guys, you all do not want to have this many bullet points at all. It's such a red flag. I would also like to point out that this is a space waster here. And I see a lot of people do that. Like, they'll have multiple spaces, paragraph spaces. You don't need to do that. It wastes space for you all. And since you only have, 2 pages to capture the recruiter's attention, you want to use it to the best of your ability. So just keep one space in between the paragraphs. It's fine. You don't want it like this, but like this is fine. You don't have to have it that huge, dead space right there. Let's see, same thing here. Too many bullet points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is good, but she was only there for 6 months. So I just kind of felt like this was too many bullet points. And then again, with the task-oriented bullet points, it just didn't have any value in there. I would also say the same thing for here. Now, she did go back more than 10 years into her job history, but that's okay. You guys know I talk about like not going back more than 10 to 12 years into your career history. She went back to 2010, which is technically 13 years, but that's okay because since she's going into a managerial type position, we're able to kind of see her career growth and the different ways that she has ascended in the field, right? So we get to see the different organizations that she's worked for and things like that. So, but ideally you don't want to go back more than 10 years. Her experience is also all relevant. So it's not as if she's making a huge career pivot or a huge career shift. If she was going from medical coding and billing to, I don't know, teaching or engineering, then we probably would have had to cut out a good portion of this because it's not relevant. And then she would have been a career transitioner, so her resume would have been completely different. So something to take note of. And again, she has her education too far down. We ended up moving that up. And then again, her skills as well. As far as the overall appearance, it's black and white. It's very bland. It's not necessary. Like, we ended up adding a lot. Well, I don't want to say a lot. Subtle. We added subtle color to her resume to make it pop and gave it a much more appealing and aesthetically, I guess, intriguing type of design. We ended up adding a graphic in there, a graphic image that I found on Adobe Stock to kind of spice it up. And then we gave her like a really nice, like a dark gray, deep blue, and like a, what was it, like a teal type of color scheme, and it came out really good. But you all don't have to have your resume in black and white in 2023. You can spice it up, you can jazz it up a little bit, you can add borders, right? So where is it? And this is just like on a whim, but like just adding a border makes it look more interesting. So you all don't have to have it all in black and white, just laid out on the page like that. You can play with it. You can add stuff to it. Don't go overboard, but you can add more to it. She's also using Times New Roman font, which is outdated. Times New Roman font is a very chunky font, and so sometimes it ends up taking up more space. I like to recommend Arial or Calibri, which tends to be a little bit smoother and not be as chunky, if that makes any sense. The font size is also too big, so it's at a size 12 that is unnecessary. It can be at a size 10, and that actually shortens her resume quite a bit, which she didn't need a full 2 pages. I believe when we rewrote the document, it came out to be just over a page, maybe a page and a half, and we were able to trim out a lot of, just a lot of, I like to say fat, trim the fat from her resume just because her font size was way too big. What's something else? I think that's it for Kirstin. So Kirstin made a lot of the common mistakes that I have highlighted in the other 2 lives that I've done, which, let me know if you guys want me to do these more than just once a month. I feel like maybe once a month is not enough. More than willing to bump that up if you guys are interested in seeing more live resume critiques from me. But yeah, she made a lot of common mistakes that people do. No contact information, no targeted headline, no career summary. Like, those are just simple mistakes that I see all of the time. But taking the time to insert or infuse those things into your resume can really make a world of a difference, especially when it comes to your job search and really just targeting your resume specifically for the type of jobs that you will be applying to. So Kirstin is all set. She has her new resume. I sent it to her right before I left for Jamaica. And I'm actually touching base with her either later tonight or tomorrow to see how that is going. And then we are doing her LinkedIn as well. So looking forward to seeing how things are going with her on the job search front. If you guys have made any of these mistakes on your resume, please fix them. I have a ton of videos on my channel giving you all a lot of tips on how to avoid these mistakes. So I have a video talking about how to target your resume. Highly recommend watching that video. I have a video talking about how many bullet points your resume should have and common bullet point mistakes that you should avoid. Highly recommend checking that out. And then contact information, I have a video on that, a tutorial on that, teaching you all how to list your contact information, right? My channel is a wealth, has a wealth of information to help you avoid some of the mistakes that Kirstin had in her resume that was preventing her from getting interviews. And like I said, when I touch base with her, I'm hoping that she is having a lot of success with it. So that is it for tonight's live. I don't know. Does anybody have any questions in regards to like the critique that I just did, or resume questions in general? I got 5 minutes, more than willing to answer any quick questions. You can go ahead and drop them in the chat. I have a little bit of time. Not seeing any. So if there are no questions, I guess I'll just go ahead and end this live. And yeah, let me know if you guys want me to do more of these. I have no problem doing more. But thank you all for tuning in. I will see y'all next month. I don't know what day I'm going to choose for the December resume live critique, but I'll be sure to post it in the community tab so that you all can be on the lookout for it. But I hope you guys have a good night. And if you are in the Chicagoland area, please stay warm. It is freezing out there. Good night, y'all. Bye.